Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan. Well, with the rise of veganism over the past few years, there's all of a sudden this huge pushback in the media. I mean, like, hardly a week can go by without some article coming out and attacking vegans or veganism. Well, the latest one I saw was this one in Quartz.com, and others published similar headlines too, but Quartz had the big one here about how if the entire US population went vegan, it'd be a public health disaster. And on the web, other people are saying it would be a nutritional nightmare. And if these headlines did not contain enough exaggeration, sensationalism, and hyperbole, even the articles themselves, the content, were full of the same. Here, in the Quartz article, they say going 100% vegan would be catastrophic. So where are they getting this from? Why are they saying this crazy stuff right now? Well, as it turns out, a recent scientific article was published by two researchers who were trying to calculate what would happen as far as greenhouse gases and people's nutrition if animal agriculture were removed completely from the United States. And the study finds that removing animals from our agricultural system will result in an agricultural system that produces fewer greenhouse gases. No brainer there. But they also conclude that we'll be left with a food system that will be incapable of meeting our nutritional requirements. So why would that be? Well, interestingly, one of the researchers here reveals her bias. She says, very simply, there are some nutrient requirements that we cannot get just consuming plant-derived foods. It rather speaks to us evolving as omnivores. Wow, so is that some kind of scientific fact there? Or again, is that just the researcher's bias? And again, what are these nutrients that we are going to be deficient in? Well, according to this researcher, it's the same nutrients that you hear from like uneducated low-carb bloggers. I'm talking stuff like B12, essential fatty acids, and calcium. Well, let's take a little look at some of those things that will be deficient in. Let's look at B12. Well, it turns out that the cheapest and safest and most effective way to get B12 is not from animals, it's from fortified foods or supplements. And as far as calcium, as I've talked about many times on this show, 7 of the top 10 calcium containing foods are plants, with number 1 being dark leafy greens. So I dug into this study's research design to try to figure out how they got these conclusions. What diets did they construct for vegans so that we'd be getting all these nutritional deficiencies? Well, here's what they did. They designed what they called least cost diets from the food available. And I assume that means, they didn't explain it in much detail, but trying to find the cheapest foods that a person could put together for their meals given the foods that were locally available. Anyway, here's what they said vegans are eating. If you look at the graph on the right, that big yellow chunk there is grains. They're saying if we go from animal products, which is on the left, to a vegan diet on the right, we would be getting about 60% of our calories from grains, because those are the least expensive foods. And I don't know about you, I don't know too many people, vegans or otherwise, that get 60% of their food from grains. That doesn't sound like the most appealing diet to me, but there are some people that do eat a lot of grains. If you look at Vietnam, the top rice eating nation in the world, well, compared to us, well, we have about 1 out of 3 people obese here in the United States. They're doing pretty well there, actually, with the lowest adult obesity rates in the world. Anyway, I'm kind of thinking something's wrong here. I'm not sure exactly what, but I was wondering what kind of influence that industry has on this study. So first thing I do is take a look at the stated conflicts of interest, and these authors claim they have no conflicts of interest. I'm going, interesting. However, when you click on the author affiliations, one of them works in the Department of Animal and Poultry Science at Virginia Tech, the other one, U.S. Dairy Forage Research Center, U.S. Department of Agriculture, and the Agricultural Research Service. But it gets even worse than that. Professor Robin Wright, the one who works in the Department of Animal and Poultry Science at Virginia Tech, well, she was a postdoctoral scholar with the National Animal Nutrition Program, and she got her bachelor's and doctorate degree in animal sciences. Well, the other researcher, Mary Beth Hall, the one that has all those affiliations with animal and dairy, well, let's look at here. She works in the Animal Science Building at UW-Madison Department of Dairy Science. So, yeah, even though maybe industry didn't fund these studies directly, there are definitely conflicts of interest. It wasn't like these researchers come from like environmental sciences or health sciences. They come from agribusiness, the animal industries. That's who schooled them. That's where their biases and allegiances lie. So of course, they're going to find a study here that if you remove the whole industry that schooled them, everything that they stand for was removed from United States agriculture, of course they're going to find some bad things that would happen. God forbid animal agriculture were to disappear from the United States. They would be out of jobs basically, and all their departments would be shut down. So I don't know. Post your questions and comments down below here. What do you think? Is there a conflict of interest? Maybe I'm being a little biased, but it sure seems like it to me. Let me know what you think. And also, did you see these headlines come out last week or, past few days? What did you think? Did you think there's something funny going on, that there'd be this nutritional nightmare, public health disaster if people were to go vegan the whole United States? So let me know what you think about that. I think it would be beautiful. I think it would be a dream come true. It would save the planet and people's health. So let me know what you think. So that's all for this time. Hit like if you like me debunking these debunker videos, which I really enjoy doing. And that's it. So you two animal science professors, I want you to listen to me and keep it carved, baby. Keep it carved.